Transform your mornings with Marcus Aurelius daily habits for strength and clarity. What if the way you begin your day could shape the course of your entire life? Imagine standing in the pre-dawn silence, the world still asleep, the air crisp and alive with possibility. This is not just a morning routine, it's the start of a philosophy in action. A way to mold strength and clarity from the very fabric of your daily life. This is how Marcus Aurelius approached his mornings, and it could transform yours too. We begin in the Roman Empire, a world as chaotic and demanding as ours today. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, carried the weight of governing millions while striving to live a life of wisdom and virtue. He didn't have the luxury of endless time or perfect circumstances. He made his mornings count because they had to. Imagine him rising early, the light of a single lamp flickering in his study. Instead of rushing into the day, he started with silence and self-reflection, asking himself profound questions. What is my purpose today? What distractions must I overcome? What virtues must I embody? Now, pause for a moment. Have you ever asked yourself such questions in the morning? Or do you, like so many of us, stumble from bed into the stream of notifications, emails, and to-dos witut ever pausing to reflect on why you're even doing it all? Marcus Aurelius began his mornings with a practice of mental framing, a habit of reminding himself what truly mattered. As he wrote in Meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do." Think about this for a moment. You weren't born to scroll endlessly on your phone or chase fleeting pleasures. You were born for something greater, something that aligns with your inner purpose. And the morning is your chance to reconnect with that purpose. Marcus called this working as a human being, living according to reason, pursuing virtue, and contributing to the common good. But this is more than philosophy. It's a challenge. Will you rise and meet it? To adopt this practice, start with what I call the morning dialogue. When you wake, resist the urge to reach for your phone. Instead, sit in silence and ask yourself, what is within my control today? What virtues do I need to cultivate to face the challenges ahead? What distractions will try to pull me away from my purpose? Write your answers down. This act of writing transforms abstract thoughts into something tangible. You're no longer drifting, you're directing. Let's go deeper. Marcus's mornings were not just about reflection. They were about preparation for hardship. He reminded himself daily, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. This is not pessimism. It's premeditatio malorum, the Stoic practice of anticipating difficulties. Think about it. How often do you begin your day expecting everything to go smoothly, only to feel blindsided when something goes wrong? Marcus teaches us to expect challenges, not as a way to dwell on the negative, but to face life with strength and clarity. Here's how you can practice this. After reflecting on your purpose, visualize the potential obstacles you might encounter. A difficult conversation, unexpected delays, personal doubts, whatever it may be. See it in your mind. Then ask yourself, how can I respond with virtue? This isn't just a mental exercise. It's a rehearsal for resilience. When the inevitable happens, you'll meet it with calm because you've already seen it coming. But perhaps you're thinking, this sounds great in theory, but how does this help me in the real world? Let me share a modern example. Picture a high-pressure CEO preparing for a day filled with back-to-back meetings, tough decisions, and the constant pull of emails. Instead of diving headfirst into chaos, he spends 10 minutes in the morning reflecting on his core values and visualizing his responses to challenges. That day, when confronted with a client's harsh criticism, he doesn't react defensively. He pauses, listens, and responds with reasoned calm. This isn't magic. It's the power of preparation. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you prepared your mind as carefully as you prepared your schedule? How might your life change if you did? As the sun rises and the world begins to stir, Marcus's mornings remind us of one final truth. Life is fleeting. Each day is a gift, not to be squandered but to be embraced with gratitude and intention. In Meditations, he wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Take a moment to let that sink in. What would it mean to live each day as though it were a privilege? How would it change the way you approach your mornings and your life?" This is where I'll pause. But our journey is far from over. In the next part, we'll delve into the hidden discipline that makes ordinary mornings extraordinary. The secret practice Marcus used to transform daily struggles into profound growth. Are you ready? Let's continue. The hidden discipline that makes ordinary mornings extraordinary. What if the struggles you face every morning could become the foundation of your greatest strength? This is the hidden discipline Marcus Aurelius practiced, a way to not only endure the chaos of life, but to transform it into a path of growth and mastery. Let's step back into his world for a moment. Marcus wasn't just a philosopher, he was a man of action. He ruled an empire, led armies, and dealt with betrayal, sickness, and loss. And yet, every morning, he turned inward to fortify his mind before stepping into the storm. At the heart of his practice was a discipline so profound it could transform even the most mundane morning into something extraordinary. The habit of focusing only on what he could control. Imagine waking up and immediately being pulled in 100 directions. Emails demanding your attention, responsibilities looming, and the lingering weight of yesterday's failures. Sound familiar? Now contrast that with Marcus's morning habit. Each day, he reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't just a quote, it's a lifeline. How often do we waste our mornings worrying about things we cannot change? The weather, the opinions of others, the endless what-ifs of life. Marcus teaches us to let go of what is outside our control and focus solely on what is within it. Our thoughts, our actions, our character. But how do we apply this practically? Here's an exercise you can try tomorrow morning. Take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, write "outside my control." On the other, write "within my control." Now, list everything weighing on your mind. Perhaps it's a deadline at work, a strained relationship, or even global events. As you write, ask yourself, do I have direct power to change this? If the answer is no, move it to the outside my control column. If the answer is yes, place it under within my control. Look at your lists. What do you notice? Most of the things that consume our mental energy are completely outside our control, yet we let them dominate our mornings. This exercise is your shield. Use it to reclaim your focus and direct it toward what truly matters. Marcus's mornings weren't just about control, they were also about virtue. He believed that every day was an opportunity to practice the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's break this down into something you can apply immediately. Wisdom. Start your morning by asking yourself, what is the wisest way to approach today? This could mean prioritizing your tasks, seeking clarity before making a decision, or simply taking a moment to reflect before reacting. Courage. Mornings often bring fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty. Marcus teaches us to face these fears head-on. Ask yourself, what fear must I confront today? How can I approach it with courage? Justice. Every day offers chances to act justly. This could mean treating a colleague with respect, standing up for what's right, or simply being honest with yourself. Reflect on this. How can I act with fairness and integrity today? Temperance. In a world of excess, mornings are often the breeding ground for overindulgence, whether it's hitting snooze, overloading on caffeine, or diving into distractions. Ask yourself, what discipline must I practice today to stay balanced? These aren't abstract ideals, they're practical tools. Imagine starting each morning with this clarity of purpose. How might it change the way you live? Here's where it gets interesting. Marcus didn't just think about these virtues, he embodied them in every action. One of his most famous lines is, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Let's pause here for a moment. How often do we spend our mornings debating with ourselves, overthinking, procrastinating, doubting? What if, instead, we simply acted? What if you began your day not by questioning your worth, but by proving it through your actions? To bring this discipline into your life, I challenge you to adopt what I call the Stoic action plan. Here's how it works. Identify a virtue. Choose one virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance to focus on for the day. Set a micro goal. Define a single, actionable step to embody that virtue. For example, if you choose courage, your micro goal might be to have a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Reflect in the evening before bed. Take 5 minutes to reflect. Did you embody your chosen virtue? What could you do better tomorrow? This is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every morning becomes a chance to grow, to refine, to live closer to your ideals. But Marcus's mornings weren't just about preparing for the day. They were about preparing for life itself. He often meditated on the transient nature of existence, writing, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." First, this might seem morbid, but it's not about fearing death. It's about appreciating life. Imagine waking up each morning with the thought, "This day is a gift. How will I use it wisely?" How might that shift your perspective? Would you spend your mornings differently if you knew they were finite? Here's a practical way to internalize this idea. When you wake up, take a deep breath and silently say to yourself, "Thank you for this day." Then, visualize how you want to live it. What kind of person will you be? What impact will you have? This isn't just a mindset. It's a practice of gratitude and intentionality, and it can transform the way you experience your mornings. As we reach the end of this part, let me leave you with a question. What would happen if you approached your mornings not as a series of tasks to complete, but as a sacred space to cultivate your best self? Think about that as we move forward. In the next part, we'll explore how to build an unbreakable morning routine inspired by Marcus Aurelius, a step-by-step guide to creating mornings that fuel strength, clarity, and purpose. Are you ready to continue? Let's move forward. Imagine waking up every morning with a sense of clarity, strength, and direction. This isn't a dream or a rare occurrence. It's a habit, one that Marcus Aurelius practiced daily and you can adopt too. The final piece of this puzzle is crafting a morning routine so solid that it becomes the bedrock of your day, a foundation for your best self. Marcus Aurelius didn't have a modern checklist or a smartphone alarm, but his approach to mornings was methodical and intentional. To truly understand how to build your own unbreakable routine, let's walk through the key elements inspired by his practices. First, consider this. What is the first thought you allow into your mind each morning? For Marcus, this thought was one of purpose. As he wrote in Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is the starting point of your routine. The moment you wake, resist the urge to flood your mind with distractions. Instead, practice what I call Stoic priming. Here's how. Set a morning intention before getting out of bed. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is my purpose today? What kind of person do I want to be? Use a Stoic mantra. Repeat a phrase that grounds you. For example, you might say, "I control my mind, not outside events." Or, "This day is mine to shape." Let this mantra guide your thoughts as you rise. By starting your day with intention, you align your mind with your values before external forces can pull you away. Next, let's talk about movement. Marcus Aurelius believed in maintaining both mental and physical discipline. While he didn't hit the gym as we might today, he understood the importance of taking care of the body as a vessel for the mind. For your routine, this translates to incorporating some form of mindful movement. This isn't about intense workouts. It's about connecting your body and mind. Try this morning stretching. Spend 5 to 10 minutes stretching, focusing on your breath. As you stretch, repeat your Stoic mantra or reflect on your intention for the day. Walk with purpose. If possible, take a short walk outside. Use this time to observe your surroundings, appreciate the morning light, and practice mindfulness. Imagine yourself walking as Marcus might have, contemplating the natural order of the world. Movement energizes your body and clears your mind, creating space for deeper reflection. Now comes the heart of your routine: reflection and journaling. Marcus Aurelius's meditations were essentially his morning journal, a space to wrestle with his thoughts, clarify his priorities, and remind himself of Stoic principles. You can create your own version of this practice through what I call the morning reflection ritual. Here's how. Gratitude. Begin by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. Challenges and responses. List the challenges you anticipate today. Then, for each one, write how you can respond with virtue, whether it's wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance. Stoic reflection. Choose a quote or principle to reflect on. For example, consider Marcus's words: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Ask yourself, what color is my soul today? This process grounds you in your values and prepares you for the day ahead with clarity and purpose. Let's not overlook the power of simplicity in Marcus's mornings. He lived in a world of opulence but chose simplicity and focus. This is a lesson for us in a world overflowing with distractions. To honor this principle, consider adopting what I call the one thing focus. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I must accomplish today to consider it a success? Write it down. This isn't about overwhelming yourself with a long to-do list. It's about identifying your highest priority and giving it your full attention. When you start your day with a clear focus, you eliminate the noise and direct your energy toward what truly matters. But what about the unexpected? Life, after all, rarely goes according to plan. Marcus understood this better than anyone. His mornings included the practice of amor fati, the love of fate. He didn't just accept life's challenges. He embraced them as opportunities for growth. You can cultivate this mindset by practicing morning acceptance. Here's how. Visualize obstacles. Spend a minute imagining what could go wrong today, not in a negative way, but as a preparation. Think of it as a mental dress rehearsal. Frame challenges as growth. For each imagined obstacle, ask yourself, how can this make me stronger? What virtue can I practice in response? By embracing potential setbacks before they occur, you transform fear into readiness and anxiety into confidence. Finally, let's end with a ritual Marcus would have deeply understood: momentum mori, the reminder of mortality. This is not about dwelling on death, but about appreciating life. Each morning, take a moment to reflect on the fragility of existence. Ask yourself, if today were my last day, how would I live it? This practice isn't morbid, it's liberating. It cuts through trivial worries and focuses your attention on what truly matters. As we draw this part to a close, picture your unbreakable morning routine. You wake with intention, move your body with purpose, reflect deeply, and embrace the day's challenges with clarity and strength. This is not just a routine, it's a philosophy in action, a daily practice of becoming the person you aspire to be. Now, let me leave you with one final question. If you knew that the habits you formed each morning would define your legacy, what habits would you choose? This is the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, not confined to ancient Rome, but alive and ready to transform your mornings and your life.